Welcome to SilverC Review! I lost my stick. Okay. I wonder if this thing has pockets. There we go. I've actually never worn this jacket before. This podcast will have an introduction, a movie review, a movie recommendation, some jokes and quotes, and then an Inside the Intorvert section. All the times are listed down below, so if you want to skip to a certain section or whatever, feel free to do so. A movie I watched recently called Heartbreakers, giving this one a 6 out of 10. The ending is the only thing that really pulled this movie up, so I'd consider it worth watching, definitely not in my collection. Splash, 6 out of 10, Tom Hanks. Good movie, definitely worth watching, but not in my collection, of course. I just put on here, I was super excited to move to audio only, but I think I have expressed that quite a few times in other videos, so I don't need to reiterate. My next movie podcast, or my next podcast will be the top 10 movies of 2018. So there's lots in 2018 that I haven't been able to see, so it's not going to be an all-inclusive type thing, but there's just not enough time to see them all coming out at the end of the year, and there's been some that have just not been very high on my list to see, which I'll list in that podcast which ones are on my list, so you kind of get an idea of which ones I haven't seen, so you know if they're really good or you think I would like them and they're not on my list, that's why. Which the first two movie reviews of 2019 will be Aquaman and Mortal Engines, and I was going to include them in this, and then I realized even though I'll see them before my top 10 podcast is posted, I'll have recorded my top 10 podcast already, because I'm trying to get all these videos out of the way for the rest of the year, so that way I can just do audio only. That'll be so much better. But that's going to be it for the introduction. The movie review, this one's going to be Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Or maybe it's the Nutcracker and the Four Realms. I'm not really sure. Giving this one a 6 out of 10. So peaceful out here. There will be spoilers. I will not be holding anything back. So, going into it, definitely a very neat device they built at the first of the movie. Kind of making me want my own hot air balloon, like mini hot air balloon, because that was really cool. It actually was a real life mousetrap, just like the board game though. I'm not sure if they were basing it off the board game, but it worked just like it, so that was really neat. I liked it. Great way to get into the movie. Also, the way they passed out gifts, whatever he was, uncle or granddad or whatever, tying a string to the tree and then having their name on it, and each kid got to follow the string to like certain parts of the house. That was really amazing. I've never even thought of anything like that, so I thought that was really cool. I like it. I'll keep it in the back of my mind in case if I'm ever in a position to do something like that. Everything in the palace was so pretty. It was all shiny and looked really cool. So the visuals in it were very neat. Once she enters the Four Realms, the ballet showing the realms was neat, but the transitions were kind of weird. Like I couldn't figure out what was going on. I thought I'd missed something at first, and I actually went back and I was like, what is going on? Like, why is she all of a sudden in there? And really, unless I did miss something, the realms don't play much into the movie. Like, it's strange that they've got them in the title, and they're only ever in, like, the main palace area. So, I'm pretty sure that time is the only time in the movie that they showed the Four Realms, like her going through them. So, it's kind of weird how they don't really incorporate it. I mean, they could have just named it anything, like Nutcracker and the Mystical Realm or something like that, and it would have been the exact same movie. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Sorry, I could hear like kids. It's 3 p.m. so school is let now, and it's the weekend, so I'm sure kids are out playing. The Wilhelm scream was in this movie, so I always mentioned I would say it if I heard it, and I did. I really figured the key would have another use, and of course it did. Saw that one coming. And I I didn't catch it the very first time that they read it, but the second time, whenever the key didn't work and she read it and it said all you need is inside, I knew right then. I was like, oh, it means inside her. She needs motivation. So saw that one coming as well. I did not, however, expect the sugar plum lady to be craving power and to technically betray them all. That one caught me completely off guard. Sorry. This movie was definitely, it had some neat action, and it was a fun movie to watch. I don't think I said it, but this one's not getting added to my collection, or I technically would call this one, if it was added, it would be my Christmas collection, because I have like a folder of all Christmas movies, and I try to watch all of them every single year. Because most of them are pretty short. But this one will not be in there. The little mouse was very cute and very funny, so I really liked him in the movie. Even though he doesn't really talk, just his actions, it was neat. I liked it. So when I watched the trailer, like just going into the movie, I had no clue that the army type, Nutcracker type guys, the infantry, was technically bad. I mean, that's what they were fighting against. I just never would have imagined that's the way the movie was going. So it was definitely a good twist for that, at least. But had a happy ending. All is right in the four realms, we assume, because we only see like the one. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a terrible movie, but just there's much better Nutcracker movies out there. So like, there's one, I don't know what it was called, but I saw it last year, but I think that was the first time I had seen it. But it was like the Nutcracker was a boy, and he kept turning back and forth between being a real boy and the Nutcracker. And it was kind of like I think the lady doing it was like a witch, and she was casting a spell or losing her powers or something like that. And it was very neat. That one's probably my favorite of the Nutcracker movies. But I like the ballet just as good, and I've seen it live, and there's just much better ones out there. So that's going to be it for the movie review, 6 out of 10. Going on to the recommendation, this one's going to be Robin Hood Men in Tights. This one's from 1993. This is a parody movie like the movie Airplane. I always reference everything to Airplane because I feel like that's the most well-known type of parody movie like this, and it's from the same time period, or around the same time period. Directed by Mel Brooks, which I think in a previous one I mentioned Mel Brooks, and it made it sound like I said he was in the movie, but it was just he directed it. That was probably for Blazing Saddles. But this one's extremely funny. I find all these parody movies very funny. I really, really like a type of comedy that's goes a completely different direction than you're expecting. That's what's funny to me. The description says, Robin of Locksley escapes from prison and returns home to find the evil Prince John has confiscated his family estate and is abusing the citizenry? I can't say that apparently. The citizens. I don't know why they have to use a weird word. Robin enlists his blind attendant, his friend, and Little John to help him regain his home. He also plans to woo Maid Marian if they can get past the chastity belt. And she's got like a metal belt that they need. I think they need a key for it or something like that. It's kind of funny. The whole movie's funny. So definitely check it out. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Gonna go on to the jokes and quotes. Oh, I guess I need this up. So if you put a cow on an elevator, you're really raising the stakes. Right. I bought a birdcage the other day, but I made sure that it was not made with any nickel whatsoever, because I wanted a Nicolas Cage. Right, that was good. I'll be glad when I can stop doing this, because audio only, I can just add in sound effect and it works so much better. I love it. Quotes. The greatest challenge in life is discovering who you are. The second greatest challenge is being happy with what you find. And I am an introvert. That's what I discovered that I am, and it's amazing knowing that that's what I am, because now everything just makes sense. Like, it's something about being able to find a label to be under that kind of helps out, and knowing that other people experience the same things you do, and it's just neat. And it's also helped me realize that things about me weren't wrong. That's just how they are. Like, that's how I am, and I've found that I'm very happy with who I am and the life I live and everything like that. So if you don't know who you are, just keep working to find it, and then try to be happy and accept yourself and go on with life. Find ways to be happy. It's always possible. And the next quote: "We are very good lawyers for our own mistakes, but very good judges for the mistakes of others." And this one, it happens to everyone. It happens to me even. And I say that like I'm some sort of saint or something. It happens to me all the time. It's hard to notice though, but I've seen it many times that I'll be in the exact same situation that I judged someone else for, and I don't consider it nearly as bad as I did prior to. So just keep that in mind, that we're able to defend our actions and justify what we do, but then when we see other people doing the exact same thing, a lot of times we consider them to be worse off people. And so everyone's got problems, everyone's struggling out there, everyone just wants to try to be happy. So try to be nice to other people and not judge them too bad. Going on to the Inside the Introvert. So they told us we could wear jeans on Monday after the Thanksgiving break recently, and I had saw that our vice president sent out an email that said that, but it also said something else in the email, and then later they canceled the second part of that email. So I didn't know if that had canceled the first part of the email, like to allow us to wear jeans. So I wasn't really sure. I was like, I'm just not going to do it just to be safe, because I've said previously that I would rather not do it than like risk having to go back home or something like that. And I had considered bringing other clothes to change into, and I was like, it's just so much of a hassle. I'm just not gonna wear jeans. But they tagged me on Facebook, and they tagged a ton of people on Facebook, and I could see from the people they were tagging high up people, and I felt like if there was something wrong, like if it was canceled, someone would have said something, and there was no one saying anything about it. So I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and wear them, and it was fine. Everything was legitimate, and we were supposed to wear it. And then later on, I remembered that they had said we had a canned food drive, and the winning team was going to get to wear casual clothes, and they had said that was going to be on Tuesday. And I was worried maybe that they had canceled it and put it back to Monday, but no, everything was good. I was just worried for nothing. The next story. So, I thought I had already told this story, but I kind of get anxious when there's people walking in front of me and they have someone coming at them, because, like, I know how to defeat that situation. You never look at the person, you always look in the direction you want to go, so that way they can tell by your eyes where you're trying to go, and they can avoid you. And it works amazingly. Like, rarely do I ever, usually if I ever do that stupid little dance where we can't figure out which way to go, it's because we're too close and I haven't gotten a chance to look in the direction I want to go, or they start, like, they're not watching me and they just kind of judge already, and I'm like, well, crap. So I'm pretty good, but when someone else is in front of me, it's annoying because they don't know that little trick. So when they do the little tango, now I got to figure out which way the person in front of me is going to go so I can follow them, because the other person's already come in this direction. Like, if I was in front of them, I'd be fine because I could navigate, but it's like I get sucked into the little tango and there's no way out of it. But it doesn't happen very often, but I'm always worried about that when I'm following somebody. I'm like, I hope no one comes at us, because then it's going to feel awkward for both of us, unfortunately. The last story, I went to get hot water, and I think I've mentioned previously that our new hot water thing takes forever to fill up a cup. Used to, it was super fast, now it takes a long time, and it's caused many introverted situations for me. This is another one. I went up there, and the lady that was standing there was someone I kind of knew, and the coffee machine has to reach a certain temperature before you can hit the brew button for it to make a new pot of coffee. And she had already done everything and put the coffee in there, and she was just waiting for it to get up to temperature. And I went up there to get hot water, which delays it, and she said, "Can you hit the brew button when you get done?" I said, "Oh yeah, sure." So went ahead and got my hot water, stood there. It took forever. I had no clue. I've never made coffee on these coffee pots because I don't drink coffee and I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want to learn how to make it. It's probably really simple. You just put the coffee in and hit brew, whatever. I don't know. Either way, it took forever. So I'm just like awkwardly standing there, kind of looking around, trying to focus on something, waiting for this stupid thing. Some other people had come up. I was like, "You can get coffee. I'm just waiting for it to come up so I can hit the brew button." And finally it did. I was able to hit it and run away. I was like, good grief. Like, I shouldn't have agreed to that. But I mean, she had already left, and so I didn't really have much choice. But I bet it took a solid 2 minutes for that stupid thing to heat up to where I could finally do that. It's like, this is not what I wanted to happen to me in the morning. But that's going to be it for this episode. So there's an introduction video out there. Go check it out. It'll tell you more about this. All the videos are on YouTube. All my previous episodes are on YouTube. MP3s are uploaded to SoundCloud. I've got Instagram and Twitter you can contact me on. And that's it. So take care of yourself because there's only one you out there.